Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative Eddie Cool. The Sports Bros Podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros.
We talking sports.
Ooh, I don't know how to act. Why? Because my Carolina Panthers won. We'll be like our Carolina Panthers won. And if you're watching this on YouTube, first of all, I apologize for the chippy internet connection. But if you can see, you can still see me, you can still hear me. It's all good, fine and dandy. As you see, I got my Panthers bandana on. I got my Jonathan Stewart jersey on. I would grab my throw, but it's too damn hot for all that. Right. With that being said, welcome to another episode of your favorite sports podcast. It's Tuesday, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. Some of us are celebrating, and some of us are trying to figure out exactly what in the hell is going on, but we'll get to that later. All right, that's enough of my incoherent rambling. Not only do I have one, but I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty wait a minute, Scottie D, what's wrong with your face? Okay. The almighty B-Live. You're over here.
What's happening? What's going on today? I got to do it again though. I got to steal something from Scottie D. It's not going to be as off the rails as it was last week, where we just took over every one of our segments. But I got to sing or rap or how you do it. We're talking North Carolina. Go on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Twitch it around your waist like a helican. What?
Almost got naked.
The red rifle. What? I'm sorry, man. Woo. We'll break that down in just a little bit, but man, I had to get that off my chest, dude, bruh. It's been depressing. It's been dangerous to my mental health watching the Carolina Panthers until I saw them this past week, and it felt so good. It felt so very good. Oh, I had my chest out. I don't care 1 and 2. I don't care if it was the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't care that I didn't get to make it to Las Vegas because of money situations. That was just beautiful. I think if I'd actually went to the game, I might have thrown off the game and they'd have lost again. I'm cool. It's all good. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and introduce the other guy and allow him to sing and cry and moan. Because of his current NFL situation. Yes, sir. All right.
All right. With that being said, he is the other guy, the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scottie D.
Roller coaster of love. Say what? Roller coaster. Roller coaster of love. Yeah, we're all on roller coasters right now, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh. Some of us are up, some of us are down. Eddie Cool now officially has ridden a roller coaster.
As this past Thursday, I went to Cedar Point and hopped my ass on a roller coaster for the first time ever. And I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I did it anyway. So I can now check that off the list of things that I've done.
I'm proud.
Ready to go skydiving?
Probably.
Do what?
Ready to go skydiving?
I'll think about it.
I'm not jumping out of a perfect good plane. That ain't me.
Don't know if they created that strain yet, but anyway.
The jumper's delight.
Yeah.
Gotta have a heavy duty parachute, the one that they attach to tanks and stuff like that. Make sure that it can hold my weight.
Military grade, you say B-Live?
Yes, sir.
Because those are like what? Are those like what, 40 pounds by themselves or heavier than that?
I couldn't tell you. I should know. I'm literally in airborne capital right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fort Liberty, aka Fort Bragg. I should know a person. I mean, they're literally that's what they do.
And when you
they
find
jump out of airplanes here in Fayetteville.
Yeah. And when you find out, let me know, man, because I've always was interested like how much that how much weight going up in the air and coming down their back. Well, with that being said, we got B-Live, we got Scottie D here, we got me here. And with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. The top of the order.
All right, Let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order.
Week 3 in the National Football League, and there's a whole lot going on. I mean, other than the Panthers winning, that's something good to celebrate as well too. But other than the Panthers winning, so it's been a real, if I could talk today, a very wacky week in the world of the National Football League. And with that being said, who turned over your table? And here's what I mean by that. After the first 2 weeks, who completely flipped things on you? You like, you know what? This team is going this direction, and the next thing you know, they flip the table, and it goes crazy. Scottie D, what say you?
Well, for me, probably the Saints, because I was singing their praises last week. I said, who is more, are they likely to sustain this kind of offensive success? And I said, yeah, they probably are, because, they got a brilliant mind at offensive coordinator. Carr was finding his comfort zone, got some weapons. Kamara's running again. And then they went out and laid an egg at home against the Eagles and lost 15-12. They put 12 on the board. They ran Carolina off the field. They ran the Cowboys off the field. And then the Eagles, who were on the road on a short week coming off of a loss, showed up in their house. And I don't know what happened. I didn't really see much of that game because I was occupied watching that just absolutely stellar Steeler game. Just a shootout with the Chargers. But so I didn't see much. What a terrible game that ended up being 15-12. And the Saints, just like that, are starting to look more like after 1 week what I was expecting them to be, quite more of an average team. And the Falcons, who I thought was going to be the king of that division, have started to look a little bit better after their ridiculously bad opening week. And I know they end up coming up short against the Chiefs, but they were right there with the game to win. The Falcons were. They had a chance to knock off the Chiefs, and questionable call, which seems to happen with pass interference, yes or no, at the ends of Chiefs games. Happened, but then Atlanta still had a chance to win the game. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. The Saints are the team that flipped over my table. Be Live, who flipped over your table?
Well, this is a two-part question, because a lot's going on when it comes to the NFL, particularly when it comes to my fantasy football teams. And I don't even know why I continue to play fantasy football. I feel like I just want to flip the table on any move that I make when it comes to fantasy football. So after week 1, and I saw that stellar performance by Isaiah Likely of the Baltimore Ravens.
Big toe.
I was like, oh yeah, because he's still on the stat board, he was the best tight end in the league after week 1. So I was like, you know what? I think this could be a thing that they should pursue and keep going, ride that momentum. And what have they done? Absolutely nothing. Isaiah Likely has done nothing since I picked him up. Baltimore
Classic
Ravens.
fantasy football overreaction.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. Yeah, I did that. All right. After 2 weeks, I realized that the stellar performance of one New Orleans Saints and their quarterback, Derek Carr, nobody has picked them up in fantasy football. So I was like, 40 points. So he's done this twice. Let me pick up Derek Carr in two of my fantasy leagues. And as Scottie D just mentioned, 12 points. Just to let you know, this table that I have here at the Share Studios, shameless plug, it's a really heavy table, so I can't really flip it over. So
yeah, you ain't flipping that. You was not.
I'm not flip this. not my equipment. But I'm just like, why can't these dudes just get it together when they're on my team? Like, literally, all 3 of my fantasy teams are terrible. And when it comes to fantasy football in its totality, I want to give up. But I love football so much, but it's painful. It is painful maintaining these fantasy football teams. And because everybody knows that I'm a sports bro, and I feel like if my fantasy football teams are performing well, it tends to my credibility as a sports fan, sports analyst, knowledgeable about sports.
Yeah. No, you have no credibility. That's all in your mind. That's on your mind.
Scotty D, don't be
See,
dusty. Don't be
no,
dusty,
no,
Scotty.
see, dusty as hell. Like, I mean, you could at any point in time you could just give me a little bit of encouragement, but that's how you want to do.
No,
Cool. Yeah.
no.
Your fantasy football team is just as terrible as mine in our league, if I'm not mistaken. So,
I didn't even know I had one.
and see, you've actually got a degree. You went to school for this stuff, and your fantasy football team, you
I
have no
completely
credibility.
forgot. I completely forgot I had one.
Oh my God. But yeah, fantasy football has me flipping over the tables altogether. Not one particular game, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Eddie Cool, what made you flip over the table this week?
Speaking of fantasy football, the fact that I started the 49ers defense over the Pittsburgh Steelers defense,
Mm.
and Pittsburgh was at home, and they only gave up 10 points, and they only had 5 sacks, and they forced one fumble. Meanwhile, the 49ers, they got 27 hung on them, and they only got 3 sacks. Uh, if I could go back to the hands of time and change it, I would fix it. And this is one of my other fancy leagues. And the guy across from me, he had the Packers defense. They went off 2 interceptions, allowed 14 points, 8 sacks, one forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and a freaking TD. Like, what is going on with the 49ers? But, we'll say that topic for nothing. So that's what kind of sort of made me flip my table. That and while I'm looking at it, Rashid Shaheed, I'm going, okay. 20 burger, 16 burger. Okay. He might have a 30 burger. Wrong, zip, zilch, not a zero. The ball got
Z-
thrown his way 5 times.
Well, he didn't
Five
and
catch a
times.
no
ball.
receptions?
He got nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. Rashid got nothing. Shaheed got shut down. Shut
Wow.
down by the
Oh,
Eagles secondary. He was projected 11.43 points, but then threw the ball to him 5 times, no catches. And what did I do? I did start him and got bit in the butt as usual. So and then I'm
fantasy
already
football is it? Fantasy
man,
football is just evil.
and it's
It's
bad because
evil.
because you know why? Within the first few weeks, I've dealing with injuries with Tua, Kenneth Walker III, Roman Wilson, and George Kittle. My bitch is looking anemic because I have Cade Otton and the damn Steelers. But yeah, now a lot of gagged and wound up getting like McIntosh, the backup running back, and he only got me 1 point.
The
But
Scottish Warrior?
no,
Oh God.
Kenny McIntosh. Yeah, I
Uh,
could I
uh,
could have used the Scottish warrior, the English warrior, the Nigerian warrior. I could have used them all. So yeah, that's had me flipping my table, man. The hell happened with the 49ers, man? What in the world happened with the 49ers?
you know
So
who else flipped the tables this week? Both the Broncos and the Buccaneers in the way that they performed. Because the Broncos looked really sorry, and Bo Nix looked really sorry out of the gate, and the
mhm.
Buccaneers looked really legit. And
Yep.
at home, the Broncos defeated the Buccaneers 26-7. And they just flipped over the tables on anyone who thought they were starting to figure out those two teams in the league. That was quite a quite a shocking performance to see the Broncos go from anemic to putting up 26, and the Buccaneers 7 at home with real chance to make some early noise in that division. Grab a early lead in that division. Saints, Falcons lost. Carolina had a good day, but still their first win. So there's a chance for the Buccaneers to seize the division early, and they laid a home egg.
Mm.
Flip the tables on us.
Yep, they flipped the tables on us. I would say the Saints flipped the tables on us, but it's only their first loss of the season. But
The Eagles aren't a bad team,
they're
so
not.
it's not necessary. It's not necessarily that it was. I mean, they are who we thought they are. Like that's the Derek Carr that I was waiting on,
Mhm.
but I was like, okay, fine. Do you?
Yeah,
Maybe this is a resurgence, a new thing.
he looked like
And
Kurt
so
Warner for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he did.
okay, I got a question for you fellas. I know
But
we got a lot of things we'll talk about. Is it almost that time to, like, so we've already talked about preseason and how teams don't practice and get it together.
mhm.
And now with the expanded 17 game series season, is it all do we need to adjust our way of thinking? Like when it comes to like the first 3 weeks of the football season, be like, now we're starting to see what teams really are. maybe the Saints were just caught everybody by surprise the first 2 weeks, and
Yeah,
they
that's
just
that's possible, but let's see how things even out because we have tendency to overreact one way or another every year, every week of every NFL season. So let's see
true.
how they respond next week. And I don't know who they're playing, but I'll tell you here in just a moment. But it's very easy to say, like let's say the Cowboys go out and thump the Giants on Thursday. Are we going to say, yeah, now that's the Cowboys that we're expecting? No, because we expect the Cowboys to do stuff like that and then lay eggs the rest of the way
I
against good teams, which they did
Because here's
again
the
this week.
thing. Because here's the thing. As it stands right now, I know that we published this on Tuesday, and so we don't know exactly what the Bills are going to do. But as of right now, 3 weeks into the season, we have five undefeated teams.
Yep.
We have the Bills, the Chiefs. Those two could be expected. Bills, we were a little leery on them, but they're 2-0. We'll see what they do against the Jaguars tonight. But the other three undefeated teams are the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Seattle Seahawks. There's no way anybody predicted that. I mean, from the top to the bottom, the talking heads to the Sports Bros podcast, nobody picked that.
We got it wrong.
So just wrong. Like nobody could have expected that. So where are we at that stance? Like, because we don't really get preseason, we don't really get to see what these teams are actually made of. Then you throw in injuries. But the Seahawks aren't supposed to be 3-0. The Vikings aren't supposed to be 3-0. The Steelers in that division are not supposed to be 3-0. That's just
no.
And really, if you look at the way the games have been played, the Chiefs have gotten away not once, not twice, but three separate times by the last play of the game, the last possession of the game, and by questionable plays. The Chiefs are just 3-0 just by sheer morbid luck at this point. So we have no idea.
It's a little
who
more
they
than luck.
like.
It's a
You think
little more than luck.
I mean, I'm just looking at the way I'm looking at the game the way
Well,
I see it.
we have tendency to judge teams every year based on what the season was the year before. And that's where we're still at. We're still getting used to this season and what our expectations should be from these teams. And next week will be a good conversation to see what we've learned after 4 games. And we'll take a look at the first quarter of the season next week. So after 4 games, that gives you a chunk, a little bit more of a taste of what we should be thinking of this season. But every year we do this. The first couple of weeks, we kind of are judging teams and expecting teams to be a continuation of the previous season. And the NFL has shown it does not work that way. The NFL always has drama and excitement and things you just don't expect. I mean, in one of my fantasy leagues, we do a pick 'em poll every week where we were picking not against spreads, just straight up wins and losses. My last 2 weeks have been atrocious. And I am mostly picking teams that I think I'm not going for like I got insider information upset. I'm picking teams like I'm picking the Texans to win. And then they go out and get smoked. I'm doing, it's a lot of that kind of stuff, and next week, yeah, I got smoked. Next week we got Atlanta and New Orleans in Atlanta. So that's actually a pretty good game to circle as a good early season game.
Well, I need both of those teams to lose. All right,
you could use a tie. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or a tie. Or as Scottie D said best, a tie is like kissing your sister.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we need them to pucker up and put the Carmex on and get to kissing. But yeah, I agree with you, fellas. Sometimes we overreact because it's a little early in the season and we are riding off expectations from the previous season. The fact is that, okay, a lot of things have happened, injuries and so forth and such of that nature. So we have to take that into consideration as well, too. But I think, like you said, Scotty D, between the weeks 4, 5, and 6, we can kind of see what's going on. And what did you say? Bill Parcells said we don't really know who's going to win
Thanksgiving.
till Thanksgiving. And once Thanksgiving comes, we can be like, oh well, you can see who are the contenders and the pretenders. You have a clear picture of that as well too. And fellows, wow. I was enjoying my beautiful. I took Sunday off. I'm tired of working Sunday. Y'all can go play. All right, I'll be fine. I'm taking Sunday off. I'm gonna find me a job, but I will have all the Sundays off. But with that being said, I also had an idea while I was watching games. The best 1 and 2 teams. What was it? The best 1 and 2. What was it? The best 1 and 2 team.
Best 1 and 2, and the worst 2-1 team.
Yeah, the best. Yeah, the best 1 and 2 team and the worst 2-1 team. With that being said, Be Live, who you got?
Well, I'm looking across the standings right now, and I have my two teams already in mind, but it's just nice to look over and see who are these unexpected teams that are just sitting 1 and 2 and just are they start off rough? Are they going to be able to pick it up? But it's easy for me in the AFC. The best 1 and 2 team is the Baltimore Ravens. I think they were close in each one of their games, except for the third game, which the scoreboard does not indicate how well the Ravens played against the Cowboys. This is not a dig against you, Scottie D, for once. I'm not going to do it to you this time. I want to, but I'm not going to. This is about the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're starting to understand what their strengths and what their weaknesses are, and I think they really put it on display. I will say this because now we're almost in that place where do we know exactly who the Cowboys are? Because we maybe are we giving the Cowboys too much credit? I don't know, but really the Ravens that third game,
I give them none. I give them none.
You give the Cowboys no credit?
No credit.
All right, cool. Bet. So the Ravens in the AFC 1 and 2, but I think they're gonna be a double-digit win team, and I think they're really starting to gel on both sides of the ball. In the NFC, the best 1 and 2 team, I have to say, even though just the performances are just not screaming at me right now, is the 49ers. The 49ers at 1 and 2. I know they're struggling, but I feel like they're going to have a come to Jesus moment. And just you're looking at the teams that are there. The Giants, don't believe in them at all. Dallas, I really just don't believe in them at all. The Bears, absolutely not. Caleb Williams, again, I've said this from Jump Street. Now, welcome to the NFL, rookie. It's not happening. Maybe he does find his feet eventually, but I just don't see it. The Falcons at 1 and 2. I gave them the little sliver of yes, Falcons, you could be good, and then you come out the way you start the season. I don't believe in you. The Panthers, that was a beautiful thing Sunday. Got to show me just a little bit more with the red rifle. Just give me a couple more games, give me a little bit more, and then I'll start believing in you a little bit more. The Cardinals 1 and 2, the Rams 1 and 2. The Rams are just depleted. The Rams are just hurt. Even though they played they ran the ball well, but they were down by 14 to the 49ers. And they stormed back. So I give them a little bit of credit, but I still just think that the 49ers, when it comes to 1 and 2, is the best thing. I'm pass the ball over to Sky D, and I'll come back to my 2-1s. What do you think about your 1 and 2s?
The best 1 and 2 team in the NFC, I'll probably say the Rams right now, because last week I said they were desperate, and if they went to 0-3, that their season was going to be shot, and they rallied. And so I am going to continue to give the Rams credit based on the fact that I still have a ton of belief in their head coach to figure things out and to get through some bumps in the road till they get their receivers back healthy. And then at that point, if they're still in it, then I think they can go on a run. And I think after what the Bengals did to Washington last night, and they were 1-2, I think the Bengals are the best 1-2 team. They looked really good on Monday night against the Commanders. Joe Burrow looked outstanding. He hit T. Higgins. He hit Jamar Chase. They got the running game going a little bit.
I literally just said that we don't know what the Buffalo Bills are going to be after Monday night. And then you're now with this Nostradamus seeing into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not seen these games yet. So I'm over here like looking at, like, when did the Bengals get
not a
1-2?
nay one.
I said, over here, like the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals were 1-2.
Mm-mm,
They had a really
Hey,
nice. They
Joey,
put together a really good game against Washington last night. Put
Joey
some pressure
Buckets,
on Jaden Daniels, and
I am so sorry for the disrespect.
it's not
Joey Buckets,
disrespect.
I'm
It's
so
respect
sorry
to the Bengals. They just looked really good on Monday night.
that he hasn't even seen the game yet.
wow.
Boy, you off the chain.
All right.
I'm over here. I am flabber and gasket. My gaskets are
It's
flabbered. Or
flabbered.
was
Yeah.
he was like,
Yeah.
what?
My flabbered is gassed. Yeah. All right. So I'll go ahead and go. Let's see. The worst 2-1 team, I'm going to say the LA Chargers because I think the Chargers are as good as Justin Herbert is good. He's dealing with injuries right now. And we saw that yesterday with Pittsburgh. Let's see, that's the worst 2-1 team. The best 1-2 team, I would say in the AFC. I would have to roll with you, B Live, the Baltimore Ravens, because they established their dominance by running the ball, and oh yeah, running the ball. And I'm pretty sure Scottie did it. Jerry Jones is kicking himself in the butt for not signing Derrick Henry when he had the chance.
Oh, he said he couldn't afford it. Ah, come on. I don't see.
There it is. Come on, come with it. Come with it.
I can't. This senile,
let the
feeble old man with
let
microphones
the
around him saying we're disappointed
hate
again.
flow
Stop with him. Go away, Jared. Just go away.
let the hate flow through you.
Oh,
The fact he said he couldn't afford them, but you went and got Zeke.
and if he restructured the deals of these guys that he's making the highest paying league, if he did it back in the springtime, if he did it before baseball season started, then he'd have had Derrick Henry on the roster running all over the Ravens. Yes, just shut up.
You
Shut
sound
up
like
and do better. Just
there it is. There it is. Man, we were getting into it, man.
yeah.
I knew it. I knew it was bottled. I knew it was bottled deep inside of him. Oh, you cannot hold that hate within you that much, bro. It is detrimental to your health.
I've been
I
turning over
care about you.
tables for 15 years.
That's I was like, hey, that was your question right there. I was waiting on this, and I was like, okay, he's gonna take the peaceful route. He's just not gonna let it all out.
Oh no, he had to let it go. As soon as he went to going doing this and start throwing them arms like, oh, we finna get it, we finna get it.
And the thing about it was is that I told myself I wasn't gonna poke the bear. I was like, I'm gonna let him be. It's gonna be a peaceful episode. And then, but Eddie, cool, you did it too.
See,
Here's the thing. You got a guy that won't go to work. Doesn't go to work in August. I'm not going to work. I need to be the highest paid in the league. I need to be the highest. Settles for second highest paid in the league. CeeDee Lamb didn't go to work in August, even though he's under contract. When you're the second highest paid in the league, you don't fumble in the red zone. You don't catch a ball and fumble it away in the red zone and then just drop balls the rest of the game and then yell at the quarterback. Yell at the quarterback whenever he's sailing the ball over your head, which he actually did do that on Sunday as well.
He did.
But come on with that CeeDee Lamb walk around all excited and rich and then fumbling the ball on the 10-yard line. Get out of here with that. And Jared signing him for that. Get out of here with that. Could have had Derrick Henry. Go ahead. What else? Were we talking about the Yankees? Is that what else we were talking about? I don't even remember.
We good. I'm good.
I forget I forget what subject we were on before. Were we talking about Shohei Ohtani? Is that what we were talking about? I can't remember.
We were not. We were talking about 2-1 and 1.
Shohei Ohtani is really good.
If he's very good,
he is really good.
Okay. Talk about the teams. I'm sorry.
All right, and so
my 2-1 teams that I was going to circle back to real quick. Should I? Okay, because it's really only two there. Okay, you got Houston, you got the Chargers, you got the Jets. It had the worst 2-1. Yeah, it has to be the Chargers. It has to be the Chargers. Even though, hey, Jim Harbaugh got them boys running, but they got them boys running, and so what does that open up Herbert's passing game if he's able to stay healthy? But as right now, 2-1 between the Jets. Aaron Rodgers looks good slinging the rock out there. I mean, and then Houston is just going to be Houston doing what it do. Had a setback this week, but hey, maybe the Vikings are just actually that good. Speaking of 2-1, worst 2-1 in the NFC, whew, I
You ain't got much
looking at
choose.
these, and
You ain't got much choose
it has
from.
to it has to come from the NFC South, and I'm going to choose the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker, they had some flashes in the pan, but I don't see it. I don't see it. The Buccaneers. I think shoot. Let's see what happens when Carolina plays them with the red rifle. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yes, sir.
Yep. And for let me see this. So I gave you the Cowboys as the was it the worst 2-1 and 2 team, and let's see the best 2-1. I am going to have to give that to,
I think you're just throwing stuff out there.
huh?
It was your question. You said the worst 2-1 and the
Yeah,
best
it's all,
1-2.
it's all twisted up. It's all.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So the worst 2-1, the best. Okay, I'm sorry. So the best 1-2 in the NFC are the 49ers, right? The worst 2-1, I'm gonna have to say, even though it said 3-0, the Minnesota Vikings. How long can
Well,
they keep this up? How long can they keep this up? I'm just saying, like, how long can they keep this up? I know they're 3-0, but I'm like, you know what? Something said, Ed, buck your own rules and just go ahead with Minnesota Vikings. I want to see how long they can keep this up.
yeah, do what you got to do.
Yeah. Because I'm just looking through everything else, like, okay, no, okay, yeah. But I just want to see how long the Minnesota Vikings can keep this up. That's all.
So for all of our listeners, because now I get to poke the bear. And I'm definitely gonna take this sound bite out. Eddie Cool does not believe in your Minnesota Vikings. He don't believe in your skull. He don't believe in your purple people eaters. He don't believe in none of that. He don't believe in Sam Darnold. He don't believe in none of that. I want to make sure you understand that. He broke his own rule. He said his own question to throw shade at the Minnesota Vikings. Just want to put that out there.
I'll see where y'all at come week 5. I'll see where you all come week 5. And I just might change my tune then. All right, we are running out of time on this segment here. That being said, me breaking my own rules to my own topic, I'm gonna flip the table. This cost me $40. It's a nice desk, and I cannot afford it to buy another one. That is. With that being said, stay tuned for more Sports Bros podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ends keepers, undertakers, shake junt dancers, plate sellers, and everybody in between. This is the Be Live Top 5.
Oh man, you know how much I love college football. And I love it so much that I grade it my damn self. I don't agree with some of the media pundits. I don't agree with the coaches sometimes. So I do my own thing when it comes to the college football. Be Live top 5. And you know what? Honestly, is it that much different because it's very early in the season after week 4? My top 5 stays the same, but I did one little flip, and I'm going to try this out. So instead, coming in at number 5, I have Ole Miss at number 5. And they only are leading the NCAA in total offense and total defense. They just haven't played anybody. So I don't know if that's going to be true when they face little conference competition. So I dropped them down to number 5. It was
They
really
beat
more of a
Gas
testament.
52-13 this past weekend.
They beat who?
Sorry.
Gas.
Georgia
GAS.
State.
Georgia. Oh, that's it. Okay. Georgia. I saw
Is it
Gas.
GAS?
Yeah, I saw
Is it
GAS.
Gast?
I saw
Or is it
GAS.
Georgia? So maybe Georgia Southern.
Either way, 52 points is a lot.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Be Live.
yeah, exactly.
I got them number 1.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Coming in at number 4, the reason why I put Ole Miss at 5 is because I want to flip-flop, because I want to give props to the true freshman in Knoxville, Tennessee, the Volunteers, Tennessee, and Nico Amaleva is doing big things. That dude is throwing the ball on a dime. Tennessee is not playing around.
Don't sing that song.
Oh, man. If you've never experienced a home game or a home game atmosphere in not so Tennessee, you're missing out because it's absolutely insane. But Tennessee went on the road and went to Oklahoma and handled their business against a top 15 team. And so they're showing, hey, Oklahoma, welcome to the SEC. But hey, Tennessee, number 4. And I almost put them at number 3, but I won't disrespect the whole state that Eddie Cool resides in. Ohio State, I have them at number 3. Another team that hasn't really played anybody. So I keep them at number 3 just because I honestly think when it comes to the Big Ten, it's Ohio State, and that's it.
And
Gotta
everybody
give props
else.
to Michigan. I gotta give props to Michigan. They did handle a game against Southern Cal, but how many games are they gonna win when you only throw the ball for 32 yards? Michigan, you might need to be more than just
They beat Milky
one-dimensional.
Moss. They beat Milky Moss this past week.
Oh my God,
they beat-
Miller Moss.
Milky
Miller
Moss. Milky Moss. Had
That,
a
I mean,
big,
that
big
is Southern Cal was 11th in the country. So I'll get back to them in just a second. Number 2, I keep it the same. Georgia Bulldogs, I have them at number 2. At the end of the day, you still manhandle Clemson, but I really would love a get back. I would love to see what Clemson is doing now versus Georgia right now. I just think we came out flat, and Georgia was a better team, but I'm not convinced. And actually, the talking heads aren't that convinced either because they also dropped Georgia down to number 2, which leaves the Texas Longhorns at number 1. Pick your poison. Quinn Ewers is still not healthy, so they got Arch Manning just doing a thing. Mm-hmm. So hook 'em horns. Texas coming in at number 1. That's not what people are here to talk about. Our video numbers say that because they're here to find out who I consider the most overrated teams in college football. I'm gonna just jump right into it before Scottie D comes with his smart aleck mouth and everything. So B Live's not top 5. I'm gonna come in with it real quick. Number 5, Texas A&M. See, what you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to struggle against Bowling Green.
Mm-mm.
You're not supposed to struggle. You're an SEC team. You're supposed to be strong and mighty and all that. Texas A&M, bro, all that money you've been spending and you're struggling against Bowling Green, it might be a coaching issue, but we'll see what happens. I mean, it is his first year there, coming in from Duke, so we'll see. But nah, you're not supposed to struggle against Bowling Green.
It's still against Bowling Green though, but proceed, be live.
That's what I'm saying. Number 4, as I mentioned before, Southern Cal. You were ranked number 11 in the country. You had everybody believing that you're going to come in to the Big Ten and make some noise. You can't. If a team is only passing for 32 yards and you can't stop them on the run game, they play defense in the Big Ten, bro. Y'all better learn it, and you better learn it quick because you're going to have a long day. Because even though the Big Ten is a little overrated, and the whole conference is a little overrated and definitely top heavy, you should be able to outscore a team that only throws the ball for 32 yards. I mean, they did worse than Navy, and I went to Navy. We don't pass the ball at all. So Southern Cal, you got to do better. Number 3, we're going to take it to the SEC. Mizzou, Missouri. I'm trying to figure out if Vanderbilt is actually trying to make some noise in the SEC because this isn't the first team that they made struggle, but this one went into double OT. Mizzou was ranked 6th in the country, and this game went into overtime.
And they won. They won the game.
They won.
They're undefeated.
Vanderbilt. That was the worst field goal attempt I've ever seen in my entire life.
You're on the wrong
from Vanderbilt that could have taken it to, yeah. So, but Mizzou, you can't go into double overtime against Vandy and still be ranked that high.
But they won. They beat them. They didn't lose to them. They won.
It's okay, but it's still overrated. You're not supposed to go into double overtime against Vandy. Number 2. Oh, this hurts my heart. surprisingly enough, it's not number one, but it's going to be number two for a reason I'll get into. When a team beats you so bad that you go on live television and say, I'm about done, I'm going to walk away, and then recant later. When you score 50 points and lose to a group of 5 team, you're definitely overrated. North Carolina Tar Heels, Matt Brown in the post-game interview was like, I got to walk away from this. And people thought he was retiring after because James Madison put 70. It was a basketball score.
Yeah.
Woo! And the only reason, and I mean the only reason that's not my number one, is because when you're ranked 13th, you can't lose to an unranked team.
That you can't.
By 29 points. And that's what happened to Kansas State. BYU put that hurt on them. Kansas State didn't score a touchdown. They scored 3 field goals. BYU put that hurt on them. BYU is now 4-0, and I wouldn't be surprised if they may sneak into somebody's top 25. But that's my not top 5. 5 Texas A&M, 4 Southern Cal, 3 Mizzou, 2 UNC, number 1 Kansas State. Go ahead, Scottie D. Just crap on everything that I talk about.
No, I think my top 5 is a little bit different. I got Ole Miss at number 1 because they now are up to 650 points scored so far this season. I got Pitt at number 2. They're undefeated. They scored 73 points. That's a lot of points. They scored 73. They're scholarship players too. They play too. They get paid too. So 73-17. Dominant. Pitt is number 2. And number 3, I got all roads leading with Dabo. We scored 59. We beat NC State 59-35. So there's your top 3. Ole Miss, Pitt, and Clemson.
And let it be known that NC State was once ranked before they ran into Tennessee. And on top of that 35 points, 28 of those points came to our backups. 28 of those came through our backups. So it was not that close. It never was that close. It was 51-7 before we pulled all of our starters. So just want to put that out there.
Penn State had a really good game. They matched up with Kent State. Had a nice tight nail biting contest, 56-0 over Kent State.
I want to see Penn State play somebody real.
Iowa State had a tough matchup with Arkansas State, 52-7 in that tilt, and then Miami 50 against South Florida's 15. That was another thriller from this past Saturday's college football schedule.
All right, and with that being said, it's been another edition of Be Live's Top 5 and Scottie D. Who can pile up the most damn points right here on the Sports Bros podcast. But before we hop into our favorite portion of the podcast, somebody's been on fire. Somebody's kicking ass in the world of Major League Baseball. With the playoffs coming right the corner, Ohtani, Shohei, he's doing some otherworldly stuff. 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. Whew. Scottie, what you got to say about all this, man?
He could be up to the 60-60 club by the end of the week. Now, I'm going to let B-Live jump in on that in a game that was maybe the greatest historic game ever in baseball. What was it, on Wednesday night, Tuesday night, whatever? The guy he had more production in that night than the entire Pirates lineup had in 2 weeks. He completely was 1 through 9 for the Pirates combined. But just listen to it on Sunday. Shohei Ohtani against the Rockies. Home run, 4 hits, 2 stolen bases, take him to 53 home runs and 55 RBIs. In the 9th inning, he came up to bat with down 5-4 and hit a home run before Mookie Betts went back to back, and they beat the Rockies 6-5. That's not even that impressive compared to the game that he had earlier in the week. He had a home run, 4 hits, and 2 stolen bases on Sunday, including the tying home run
Sunday?
in the 9th game. Yeah, that was Sunday. That was in the 9th inning on Sunday.
That. He's at 50.
He's at 53 home runs, 55 stolen bases.
Wow.
After that performance Sunday, that's not even close to as good as what he had earlier in the week. when he had
Man,
10 RBIs.
Yeah, that Thursday game against the Marlins, 6 for 6, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. And then he turns around and he's Sunday 5, what is it? You said 5 hits?
Sunday he had
home run?
4 hits, one of was a home run, 2 stolen bases.
Oh, dude, this guy is,
including the clutch home run that tied the game in the 9th inning. So
wow.
Is it safe to say that with him being a DH in the National League that this might be a far-fetched statement to make? May we never see Shohei Ohtani pitch again?
We've had that conversation on the Sports Rolls before, and I'm hard pressed, bro. Nah, like unless your bullpen is absolutely depleted,
Yeah,
I wouldn't let that. I would let maybe as a 5th pitcher rotational somewhere like once every 2 weeks or once every month. But dude, like hell no.
he didn't pitch
Unless
this year, and they are 93 and 63.
don't need to.
Right.
Don't need to.
Don't need to at all. Man. Yeah, and that's insane. That's insane. Now, am I going to be the one to say that his season this year is better than Ronald Acuña's last year? 40-70?
I say no. But
I just
Acuña's season last year was insanely good. It's 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. I mean,
is the difference.
Ohtani's
at 290. Acuña was at 332. They had the same slugging percentage. But I was looking at that earlier.
Acuña played the field as well.
Right. And did he get a Gold Glove last year too?
I don't remember. Very, very possible. But I mean,
he was definitely impactful on the field without question.
Yeah, Ohtani is the MVP this year, and I don't want to hear about the fact that he didn't play the field means he shouldn't be MVP. Just so he didn't catch like 3 fly balls a game. What? I mean, come on. Look at this offensive impact that he's having on this team. Because, like I said, if Ohtani comes up and you're the Rockies and it's 5-4 and you need to get him out or put him on base to avoid letting him hit the ball over the wall, you do it, except for the fact that now you got Mookie Betts behind him. So you can't walk Shohei Ohtani because you don't want to see Betts hit a 2-run home run. Well, instead, both of them hit home runs anyway. But that just shows you the impact he has on the lineup is now Mookie Betts is getting opportunities to hit. He's too good. He's the MVP, and it's not even close.
The Dodgers are the number 1 team in baseball for a reason.
Pick your poison.
Is Shohei Ohtani. But yeah, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, they are that good. As much as I don't like them, they are that good. And I really think about this. It's really just I don't like them because I got my boy Freddie Freeman. But man.
With all that firepower,
Atlanta,
they are one game.
The Mets.
They are one game ahead of the Phillies in the league. That shows you how under the radar good the Phillies are this season too. So
yeah, the Phillies have been under the radar, man, like a whole lot. You've seen them and heard them talk, but as far as like everybody be like, oh, the Phillies and not as much.
I don't give a damn about the Phillies. They had one job. They had one job this past series against the Mets. Just win one more game. Now the Braves have to sweep the Mets in order for them to even have a chance. If the Braves lose one to the Mets and the Braves don't make it in, and we've been fighting, we're depleted, we're hurt.
There's too many injuries for the Braves. You guys should be happy that the Braves are even in the conversation right now because they have been just absolutely decimated with injuries this year. So this is one you just have to write off as just an injury-plagued season.
Nothing.
Well, okay.
I don't like the Phillies. I don't
sit
like
there
the
and squirm.
Mets.
Then sit there and squirm. You do that.
Just like you do with your Dallas Cowboys.
All right, with that being said, looking at my
Chris
cell
Wanky.
phone because I have yet, don't you ever mention that name again. Gotta
2001. That was 23 years ago.
Guess what time it is? All our
That's what's
answer,
happening to
Ed.
the.
It's time once again for our favorite portion of the
That's what's happening to
podcast,
the
Sports
Cowboys
Bros
right now.
Podcast. And with that being said, hey, yo, Button, hit it.
Winky.
Sports Bros Podcast, Choices of the
Winky.
Voices,
Hit
coming
it.
at you
60
right after
million.
this. Stay tuned. If you're still
231
watching,
million
thank you.
guaranteed.
If you're still listening,
Heisman
thank you as
Trophy
well,
winner,
too. And with
Chris
that being
Winky.
said, let's go ahead and
1-0.
hop right into it. The
1-0.
choices of the
Undefeated
voices.
after one
What in
season.
the
After
hell
one
is
game.
going on?
1-6, 1-15.
Coming
Chris
right back
Winky.
to you right here on the Sports Bros Podcast. Don't you count us out and don't you turn us off. Ashley Knuckles and all. We'll be right back.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and
Ever so lovely, Miss Button.
for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. Man, you know how we do it. We give y'all a question. Well, B Live gave you the question, but anyways, y'all give us the answer, and we'll talk about it right here on the Sports Bros Podcast. Scottie D, what's on tap for this week's Sports Bros choices of the voices?
Well, we were asking what your favorite NFL Network pregame intro song was. Basically choosing from 4 NBC, CBS, Fox, and the ESPN, ABC. Did I say them all? NBC, Fox, CBS, and then the ABC, ESPN combo, which is the Monday Night Football thing. And what do we get here? We get a few answers on these?
We got a few of them here. Marcus James, he said, man, that's tough. It's between the Monday Night Football and Fox for me. He said, I also really like Amazon's Thursday Night Football theme as well, even though it's the new kid on the block. So he's going to he's splitting hairs between.
This real quick.
Go ahead.
Because he mentioned the Amazon Prime one. Guess what? I don't get to hear it.
Me neither. I don't know who it is.
Like I've never heard it because guess what? I'm usually in a setting where I don't hear the theme song because by the time they get it on, it's on streaming. I just haven't heard it, so I got to go and listen to it. I didn't research it, so Amazon Prime, yeah, it is what it is. But he's torn between. He said Fox and
Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun,
OG classic, man, can't go wrong with that. 80 series, he says Fox. They have never changed their theme song in 30 years. Can y'all believe that, fellas? NFL's been on Fox for 30 years.
Wow.
Wow.
You gotta love the fanfare, and I mean, I don't think you could ever go wrong with Fox. But everybody that says Fox, they're wrong. It's okay though. Now, because I'll let you know in a minute why Fox is not the premier.
All right, and Matty Ice, he says the San Diego Superchargers, the catchy theme song and expectations in 1979. And Scott Donnelly replied, so of the 4 network theme songs, you choose the Chargers. Got it.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Matty Ice? Come on.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You're better than that.
We got a whole video. We got a whole video in AIDS. Well, go ahead, be live.
I will respect him in this matter, but maybe I shouldn't. Because he put himself in the penalty box.
Yeah, he did that.
he put himself in the penalty box.
He did do that,
I didn't have to. So I give him props, but that doesn't necessarily give you the right to steer off the question like here. Or can I throw in the Arnold Schwarzenegger? Go Chargers, go.
Might as well. Since he threw that in, you might as well throw that in too.
Go Superchargers. Is that how it goes, if I'm not mistaken?
I think so.
I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, penalty box, you're gonna stay in there. I mean, you are close to a 1-game suspension. Keep messing around with us.
One whole game.
It's just terrible.
One whole game.
But
all
yes.
Right. All right. With that being said, Scottie D, who you got? Favorite theme song?
Well, I mean, I guess the classic Monday Night Football dun, 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 is that's. I mean, it's hard to not say that one because just that little section. I could do without. What did they used to do? The all my friends are coming over tonight. That was
Are you ready? Friends are coming over tonight.
Yeah.
Hank Williams.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of got you in the mood. And you know, Sunday, you listen to Waiting All Day for Sunday night.
Carrie
I don't,
Underwood.
yeah, we don't need that one. I don't like that one just because it doesn't make, because I haven't been waiting all day for Sunday night. I've been watching football all day. You know, it's not like that would be actually a better Monday night one because all football fans have not been waiting. We aren't blocking out the first 7 hours of football just because we want to watch Sunday night. I just, that one. But having said that, I really like the NBC one. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I like that one. That gets me pumped up for Sunday night football. So I'm going to say that one. Be live.
This one wasn't tough, but it was tough at the same time. I'm going to explain why. Because see, I'm an NFC guy. I'm a Panthers guy. So by default, it should be Fox because usually that's what you hear before you hear a Panthers game. But when it comes to the musical quality and what really gets me pumped up in the morning, I'm sorry, nobody has said it. I pick CBS. That guitar riff in the CBS theme is magical. It's just. Come on. But like, that's, oh my God. It's like, I literally will play CBS and the Fox themes like when I'm getting hyped up on Sunday before I leave the house or before whatever I do. I haven't been hyped the first couple of weeks. The third week I was not. I slept in. I didn't care because I was so depressed about my Panthers. I had no reason to really watch any other games. My fantasy team sucked. But then when I got to watching it, I was like, well, look at here. So I'm going to have to go back to, well, no, actually, keep the routine as it is when they won. But CBS, then Fox, then the classic ESPN, and then NBC. NBC's actual theme, yes, Carrie Underwood, you're absolutely right. New. But that's where I stand. Eddie Cool.
All right, and with that being said, I'm going to have to go with the NFL on Fox because when you hear the like I'm getting like you can't see it, but in the words of The Rock, goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. That's an iconic theme. That NFL on Fox ain't too. I mean, I'm sorry. That NFL on NBC is not too far away. My man have to say Monday Night Football is my third choice. Yeah, the whole waiting on my friends and skipping all day. I ain't with that. I'm not with that. No. So I would have to say the NFL on Fox. It's an iconic theme. It's been around for 30 years. And like I said, you remember when the graphics were B-rate and cheap and low, and now look at them. It's just phenomenal. The evolution of that over there at Fox. Yep.
So really, this was a question that there really isn't a wrong answer unless you choose the Chargers theme song. But I mean, those
that's the only wrong answer.
They're all good. I mean, every one of them gets you pumped up to watch a football game. They're all good.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, Scottie D, what's on tap for next week?
Next week, we're just going to ask a very simple one, but who is the best safety you've ever seen play in the NFL? The best safety you've ever seen in the NFL. And that'll give us something to talk about and debate about next week, Eddie Cool.
I got the best safety.
I feel like there's going to be two answers.
Or three.
I
got one in my head right now that, you know, some people either they've forgotten about it, but like, oh yeah, it's either, damn, I forgot about him, or oh yeah, I know him. And some of the old school heads might appreciate that. Yep, so that's it for this week's Choices of the Voices. Coming up next, be live, get the grab it, and make sure it's full. Here comes the pepper grinder. We got a round of pepper coming at you right here. Sports Bros Podcast.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
Well, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, around the pepper, you know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of sort of not really here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. The 4 E's in no particular order. And I'll go first. Be live. On this day in history, back in 1972, Joe Willie Namath passes for 6 touchdowns versus the Baltimore Colts, and they win 44-34. Broadway Joe getting it done by 10 points or more. Over to you, Be Live.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, my first pepper point is well, I mean, it is what it is. NCAA needs to get things right, and they got a lot of things they got to fix.
A lot.
And one former Heisman winner that lost his Heisman, that regained his Heisman, he said, "Hey, y'all have caused a lot of irreparable damage, and I need my coins." Where Reggie Bush is like, "All right, thank you for the Heisman, thank you for the recognition, but yeah, you NCAA, you forced Southern Cal's hand when you took away their championship, took away their wins, and basically said, hey, Southern Cal, you need to cut ties with Reggie Bush." And they did. And therefore, for the rest of his career at the time, he was never given his flowers. He was never given the respect by the school. They took down his retired jersey and all the thing, and basically all the shame on his name. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to need some of that back. So Southern Cal, Pac-12, NCAA, all of that, let me get that. Because who would have known? I mean, just a shame of it all. And yeah, pay up. Y'all did that man wrong. Eddie Cool, the ball.
Come up off it, all right? And speaking of getting some get back and getting revenge, let's talk about Malik Willis, all right? He went 13 for 19, 202 yards, 6 carries for 73 yards, 2 total touchdowns, and a 120.9% passer rating. And his team won. Oh, revenge is so sweet. And guess who's up to get some more revenge? The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, played against the Bengals. So shout out to everybody who's getting revenge on their team, on their former teams. Be Live, over to you.
All right. Second pepper point. Hats off to the production team and the research team, I believe, at NBC. Because Sunday night game was the Chiefs and the Falcons, NBC, correct?
Correct. A good one. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, one of the commentators made note that after said interception, the Atlanta Falcons corner, Justin Simmons, is he corner or is it safety? It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Justin Simmons, remember the name. He picks off Patrick Mahomes for the 6th time in Justin Simmons' career. No one else in the NFL has intercepted Patrick Mahomes more than twice. Justin Simmons has done it 6 times. Put some respect on that man's name. He is the kryptonite to Patrick Mahomes' Superman. Eddie Cool, the ball.
Knew it had to be somewhere down the road sooner or later. All right, and as B Live mentioned, James Madison, they hang a 70 burger on the University of North Carolina to the tune of $500,000. It's a damn shame when you're paying teams to come bust that ass at home. You know why the reason
paid them $500,000 to almost retire your coach. Oh boy.
Ooh, yeah, $500,000. Spending money, baby, to get that ass whipped. Be Live, get us up out of here.
Third and final pepper point. This isn't going to be weird or wacky. This is just going to be factual. And I think the NFL needs to get back to it because I'm actually, and this almost is in respect to the Carolina Panthers as well. I am tired of teams throwing their newly minted franchise quarterback that has played 0 downs, 0 games in the NFL, throwing them to the wolves, starting them the very first game. It very, very rarely ever happens. It's a diamond in the rough. It is an anomaly. It's a unicorn that CJ Stroud did what he did.
Yep.
But look at everybody else that and I'm just going to go into this season with the 6 quarterbacks that were drafted. 3 of them are not playing. JJ McCarthy got injured. Michael Penix Jr. is a backup. Drake May lost the battle. during preseason, during training camp, and so he's a backup. That may be the best thing that happened to Drake May. Maybe he can learn something. Michael Penix Jr., the Falcons did that on purpose and may have the recipe that I'm going to talk about. JJ McCarthy getting injured, that just sucks.
Yeah.
But the three quarterbacks that got drafted this year that started immediately, I'm going to go over some stats real quick. Jaden Daniels, 40 for 53, 410 yards. He actually has a very good completion percentage of 75.5%. This is before the game tonight, so we shall see. But he has 0 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, which is a good thing, and has 2 rushing touchdowns. Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos, 71 of 113, 600 yards, 62.8% completion pass, not bad. 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions with 2 rushing touchdowns. 0 touchdowns passing. Then you have your superstar number 1, Caleb Williams, 7 of 118, 630 yards, 59.3% completion, which is not good. 2 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, no rushing touchdowns. They are combined 3-5 record. They're not doing anything good for their teams, and their confidence may be shot because they're not doing well. Let these dudes sit and study and learn and stop simplifying the playbook so they can actually develop and actually be good quarterbacks in the future. That's all I got to say. Be live out. Yes, sir.
And then closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can do something nice for someone else, they're greatly appreciated now more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden. This is your favorite sports podcast, the Sports Bros Podcast. Thank you for listening and watching. Be live. Get us up out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
See you in the screen. Out the screen. Hey, see you next week.
Hey, it's Eddie Cool here from the Sports Bros Podcast. Thank you for listening, and as always, continue to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Just click the link in the description box and keep up with the Sports Bros Podcast. And once again, thanks for listening.